Don't create the expectations, there'll be no dejections. It's like, I throw a stone up, Sadhguru, I throw a stone up, why is it landing on my head? Well, that's how it works on this planet. If you don't want it to work like this, you must leave this atmosphere and throw the stone up, it just continues to travel straight up. This is how it works here. If you throw it up, it lands on your head. No? You are like somebody who plays solitaire, you know. Yes, this is like playing solitaire. This is just because you're like a person who wants to drive on the Mumbai street without knowing anything about the vehicle that he drives. You don't know how to drive, but you got into a car or motorcycle and tried to do… Motorcycle won't cooperate at all, first moment you'll fall. Car is little easy, anybody can make it roll, you know, because it's on 4 wheels. So if you drive, then you say, Sadhguru, I'm driving, but there is so much fear, what to do? And people are dying on the street, what to do? Well, that's what will happen. So if you want to drive it, you spend some certain amount of time learning to drive before you hit the road, isn't it? This is also just like this. Before you start your life, you must spend some time learning something about this machine, isn't it? This body, this mind, how to use it, in what way it operates best. Shouldn't we spend some time? No, you just jump into life and as I create expectations and I get dejected, obviously unrealistic, isn't it? So, oh, if I don't create expectations, maybe I won't do nothing. That's not true. Anyway, you're doing something, isn't it? Even the bees and the birds and the ants and the elephants are doing something, isn't it? Whatever they can do, aren't they doing? So that's all you can do also. Whatever you can do, you can do. What you cannot do, you cannot do. So we taught you Isha Yoga to remove all the other nonsense. You understand? If you can look upon everything around you the same way, everything that you can do, you'll do. What you cannot do, you'll not do. What's the problem? That's how the whole existence is functioning, isn't it? If you ask this planet to spin backwards, can it do it? So even Mother Earth cannot do, so what's the big deal? You are just a piece. Isn't it so? The earth is spinning like this, if you say spin like this tomorrow morning, can it spin? No. So, what's the big deal? You can only do what you can do. So once you see this, your whole life will be focused on how to enhance your ability to do, not waste your time on silly expectations. Life will happen the way it happens, not because you desire, it happens because you're enabled in a certain way. Instead of enabling yourself, you're wasting your time in silly expectations of yourself. So, instead of spending your time building fancy expectations, spend your time to enable this one. What you're capable, that's all you will do, isn't it? Can you do something more? Can anybody do something more than what they're capable of? No. It is just that your capability can be stretched. Without stretching your ability to do, you're building expectations. It is just fundamentally wrong, isn't it? No? It's fundamentally wrong, isn't it so? Now I want to run 100 meters in 7 seconds. You shouldn't think of this. You should just work on your legs and your lungs and just run. Maybe, who knows, you'll run it in 6 seconds, who knows? Why are you worried about the time? You build your legs, into as powerful a condition as you can build it, and just run, just for the simple joy of it. We don't know what will be the time. 21 minutes? So, don't waste your life in setting up expectations, because these expectations are not even yours. You're looking at your neighbor and setting expectations for yourself. It's a very, very silly way of building your life, because your expectations are not even yours, isn't it? I'm telling you, human mind is such. Let's say in Mumbai everybody had only one leg. You had actually two, but everybody has only one. They're all hopping around. You will also do that, though you have two. Because you're setting up your expectations, looking at people around you. So, there's no need for any expectations, just enable yourself. Whatever the situation allows, we'll do. This is all you have to do. Build your body and your mind in such a way that you can use it to the fullest capability. So whatever kind of situations arise in front of you, accordingly you act, not the fancy way you like. You know, right now, we have started a whole different form of education in Asia called Samskriti. They have no formal education. They're just learning yoga, classical music, classical dance, Sanskrit language, English language, and martial arts, nothing else. These kids know nothing, but you come and see them absolutely like this, because we're just teaching them to use their body and their mind to the fullest capability. You will see by the time they're 18, they will be phenomenal creatures. Because your success in this world is just this. The physical world, the success is just this. How effectively can you use your physical body and your mind? That's all your success is. Is that so? That's all it is, isn't it? A little bit of knowledge you need, the damn knowledge is all on the net, you don't have to keep it in your head. It's all in the net. Unless you want to do some specific kind of activity for you want to build some knowledge, you can do that. But that also, I would say the whole education system, which is little over 20 years right now, can be compressed to 5 to 6 years if people are of a certain mental capability. And every human being, almost every human being except those who are impaired in some way, almost every human being is capable of this. If only you take off the silly expectations which are a crippling factor, because your expectation is if somebody is doing this, you want to do one step more, even if that's a crippled standard. You don't go about building expectations, you just work upon building your body and your mind to enable yourself that you can use it to the fullest extent. We don't know how you will use it. What you do in this world should be relevant to the situation in which you exist, isn't it? Action is always about the situation, not about you. If this one thing, if you get it, then there'll be no expectation. Simply you do what's needed. In a given situation, you simply do what's needed, that's all. If you're placed in Mumbai, you learn the stock market. If you're placed in Kanyakumari, you learn fishing. This also you do well, that's also you do well, that's all, wherever you are, that's all there is, isn't it? This is the condition of the great river called Krishna. which has a basin of nearly 2.5 lakh square kilometers. Here, the depletion of tree cover is 97%. And the river itself has depleted 61% in the last 50 years. There was a three-year period between 2003 and 2006, where the river became a trickle for entire 3 years and barely reached the ocean. This is the unfortunate state of the great river Krishna, which has tributaries as big as Tungabhadra, but still this is the condition it is, and this is post-monsoon. Post-monsoon, this is where it is. We must rally for rivers and make this happen.
Jai Hind Sadhguru. I've seen your videos and I heard some of your lectures, in which I could make out that you don't believe in boundaries and concept of nations. And we should not kill enemy, we should kill enmity.
I did not say you should not kill your enemy, but you should kill the enmity. I said there are two ways of settling it. Sometimes you kill the enemy, but it's less expensive and more beneficial to kill the enmity. Killing the enmity may not be in your hands, this is in the hands of somebody else. Killing the enemy is in your hands. Your business is to kill the enemy if you have to, all right? So, do not mistake these two things. Killing the enmity is somewhere else. But if that is done, then forces could be used in a much different way. All these young men and women could be used in a much different way which is beneficial for them and for the nation. So, let us not mistake the two. I am not telling the forces, you go and kill enmity. No, you must kill the enemy if it's necessary. And we must understand, the other person also is trying to kill the enemy. We are the enemy for somebody. So tell me, how long will we continue this? Somewhere we have to kill the enmity, isn't it? Somewhere we have to settle our disputes and go about our life. Well, such things have not happened in many hundreds of years, unfortunately. So we think that's the only reality. No, that is not the only reality. There is a possibility, many nations which fought bitter wars, well, you see Europe, World War II is not another eon, all right, it's less than a century. Just 80 years ago, they fought as bitterly as any men could fight, all right, as dirty as anybody could fight. But today, they're existing as one economy, almost as one nation, beginning to happen. Problems are there, but beginning to happen. Well, we could also envision something like that for Asia. Well, right now it looks like not a possibility. I don't see that possibility in the next 20 years' time or 25 years' time, but I feel one part of the boundaries, one part of the borders can be settled if political will is there, necessary wisdom and maturity is there, of course, on both sides. It is possible to do it because there is nothing much to lose or gain. Only there is gain for both sides by settling the enmity. But on one side, it's a different issue. That's not going to settle in near future, at least not in the next decade or two, it's not going to settle. Maybe I sound pessimistic, a lot of people feel that tomorrow morning they can settle it, but I live with reality, I know people's mindset. Until this generation passes, I don't believe it will settle in the other country. What do you think? It's a complex mix of many things. Too many emotions, too many aspects involved in this, and there are gods fighting in heavens, so they have to stop first. There are many levels of layers of fighting happening. This fighting is not going to stop just like that. We could minimize it, we could control it. That's definitely a possibility. About I am not here to preach the forces, love thy enemy. Do I look like so foolish? Do I look that stupid? I don't, right? Initiation is just an induction process, it's an energy process. In that direction, This Rudraksh Diksha will be given. It's a kind of an initiation so that you will soak in the tears of ecstasy of Shiva. So this is how the year is divided in the yogic culture. From summer solstice to winter solstice is sadhanapada. From winter solstice onwards is kaivalyapada. This means sadhanapada is time to work upon ourselves. Kaivalyapada is to either realize or receive the blessing of the sadhana that we have done. So, this is the time for realizations, this is the time for blossoming, this is the time, slowly, the sun will move in a certain way and assist us towards a higher possibility. Because in relationship with the northern hemisphere, where the sun is from winter solstice to summer solstice, is most advantageous for people who are living in the northern hemisphere. This is important time because this is harvest time. In India, even physically this is harvest time. Materially it's harvest time. What is considered as Shankaranti, what is considered… what is called as Pongal in Tamil Nadu are essentially harvest festivals. It's a farmer's festival or it is harvest festival. It's mainly about harvest. Even for a yogi, this is harvest time. For what work you do within yourself, this is the time to take what you want from it, because harvest is not just one time. You must slowly gather things so that after some time, if you look at yourself, you can't recognize how you were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. That's how much wealth you have gathered within yourself. In that direction, this Rudraksh Diksha will be given. So Rudraksh is not just given as something that… material, it's given as a Diksha or it's a kind of an initiation so that you will soak in the tears of ecstasy of Shiva. Initiation is not about a bundle of instructions. Initiation is not a bundle of words. Initiation is just an induction process, it's an energy process.
I'm appealing to you right now to join the movement that Sadhguru is leading for helping reverse climate change, the Conscious Planet movement. We have to begin to recognize that what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth, and some 87% of all life on the planet depends on it.
The way it is going, and every year, on an average, approximately 2,700 species of microbes are vanishing. 80% of the biomass insects are gone. 66% of the vertebrate population on the planet is gone in the last 50 years. 92% of the freshwater life on the planet is gone in the last 50 years.
It's estimated that if we carry on in this way, all the topsoil could be gone in 60 years.
If we start working right now to put back these things, in the next 15 to 25 years, we could regenerate the soil on the planet to a significant level. But let's say we leave it for another 30 to 40 years and the necessary biodiversity losses happen. After that, if we attempt it, it will take 150 to 200 years. So that is why now is very important.
I request all of you to come together and join the Conscious Planet movement to save soil.
I ask everybody to support and rally and get behind.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
When it comes to these aspects of life, terminology is not a question of semantics. When you say, I'm a confused soul, a soul cannot be confused. You are a confused mind. Why is it so important to correct this? Because if you do not understand the distinction between one thing and the other, suppose you go to your doctor because you have a cardiac problem and you say, "Doctor, my liver is giving me trouble." He will attend to something else, you know, isn't it? So it's very important. It is not a question of semantics, it's just not just a question of splitting hair. It's just like this. You have a heart problem but you go to a liver doctor. This is not going to be a solution, there's going to be more problems because anyway, once you go to him, he has to conduct a surgery upon your liver, whether you have liver problem or not. That's part of the business, okay. So it's very important, your soul cannot be confused. And first of all, do not talk about a soul because it's not come into your experience. And if you talk about something which is not yet in your experience, to put it very bluntly, it amounts to lying. So this is the first thing you must do, you must stop lying. Do not talk about anything which is not yet a reality for you. It may be said in the Gita, it may be written in the Vedas, everybody may be talking about it, it doesn't matter. It's not true for you, you do not talk about it. You do not talk about soul, you do not talk about heaven, you do not talk about God because it is not yet a reality for you. If you do not talk about these things, a certain longing will appear within you which will lead you there. If you talk about it, you will satisfy yourself with gossip, the real thing will never happen to you. You will be fulfilled with gossip. Gossip is a very fulfilling thing, you know. Yes. Yes, lot of people avoid reality just by gossiping. Whole lot of people avoid reality just by watching a cinema. Cinema is somebody's gossip, isn't it? Somebody's story. I'm not against it, but I'm saying if you're using it to enhance your life, it's okay. If you're using it to avoid your life, it's a serious problem, isn't it? And a lot of people are using it to avoid life. You know, you don't have to do anything in your life, you go just sit in a dark room, buy a bucket of popcorn. Somebody will love, somebody will fight, somebody will live, somebody will do everything. You just have to eat popcorn and it happens. You can cry, you can laugh and you can come out and it's done. And they tell you when it's ended. These days they don't put that "the end" anymore. You're supposed to figure it's over. There was a time when they would say "the end." So just in case you're not getting it, you may sit for the next show. So, do not deceive yourself. This is the least you can do for yourself is do not bullshit yourself. If you do not bullshit others also, your life around you will also improve phenomenally, but that I will leave it to you, okay? That's your decision. But at least with this one person, be 100% straight, no nonsense. You must do this because this person deserves and you owe it to this. That with this one at least, I don't know in what kind of social and other situations you are, whether you can stop bullshitting to others. If you do that, you can build a phenomenal life around you also. If you can do it around yourself, it's great, you'll build something wonderful. If that is not possible, at least with this one person, do not bullshit this person. At least with this person, 100% straight. So this is simply because there was a time when this culture was a vibrant spiritual atmosphere. From those times, it is a very depleted condition right now. That vibrant spiritual liveliness is gone, but the jargon is still floating around. Wherever you go, people are talking about soul, Atma, Paramatma, this, that. The jargon is still floating around in common language and common atmospheres, though the fire is gone. Because of this, it is… one way it could have been a positive influence, but it is also a negative influence because you're talking about the highest things in a mundane way, so that all the highest things will just die, just talking about it like gossip. People will discuss Gita on the tea shop, people will nothing wrong with the tea shop, I'm saying not with the necessary focus or the sanctity that it needs. Sanctity not in terms of elevating it to some place, sanctity in terms of if you want to put your hand into the milk, you would see that your hands are clean, isn't it? Because otherwise it'll go bad. This is just like that. If you want to put your hands into something, before that, a little bit of care. Otherwise, you will become a confused soul, which is impossible. But you think it's real. Confused mind, possible. Mind can only be confused. If somebody has a clear mind, he must be a fanatic. Do you understand? The nature of the mind is confusion. That's its beauty, it's always confused because it can't figure anything. But it can gather everything and mull over it endlessly. This is the nature of your logical mind. Mind is always going to be confused unless you're a single-track idiot or you're a fanatic. Otherwise, mind will be confused. A confused mind is good. If you know how to organize your confusion, if you know how to handle your confusion, if you know how to increase the enormity of your confusion consciously, if you can handle your confusion consciously, mind is a very productive instrument. If you're looking for a mind which is not confused, you can go for a brain surgery. You can remove half of it, there'll be no confusion. Clear? The more intelligent you are, the more you will wonder, the more you will be confused about everything. The more profoundly you look at life, the more confused you will be. And it's good. Only somebody who doesn't look at anything, who's got a parallel vision, he is dead sure about everything. So you must either be an idiot or a fanatic to do that, and there's not much difference between the two. So now, your mind is confused. That is the nature of the mind. You have to learn to use the confusion to your benefit. If your mind is not confused, that means it's not constantly receiving. It is a blocked up mind, your mind has become a concrete block which is dead sure about everything. Otherwise, constantly if you're perceiving more and more information, it is always confused because it is always receiving much more than it can ever process. So much information, everything that you see, if you see little more carefully, right in this room you can see so many things that you never thought possible in your life, do you understand? If you observe just one thing, it will happen like this. It is just that people are saying like this and they don't see anything. If they pay enough attention to any one thing, you will see a simple ant can keep your focus on for the rest of your life, it has so much in it. So everything around you, if you pay enough attention, there is so much information, no way can any mind ever process it. Only an unattentive mind thinks it knows everything. An attentive mind is always wondering and confused about every little thing in the universe. And that's the way it should be. You should not suffer your confusion. You must understand if you're constantly confused, that means you have a functioning intelligence. Yes. So, once you have separated your soul and your mind, a non-existent soul in your experience, the mind is receiving too many things from every direction all the time, endlessly, in wakefulness and sleep. The five senses are always perceiving endlessly. Most people are not alert to it, so their life becomes stagnant and boring. Confusion means there is still a possibility. Conclusion means it's death. So, don't try to conclude and take away the confusion. Confusion is fine. Right now, do not imagine things which are not true. Confusion is because never in the history of humanity anybody ever figured the nature of creation, nature of life in their mind. You can become life and know life. You can never figure life, just understand this. Never ever can you figure life out. But if you become an absolute piece of life, you will know life for what it is. So the only way to know life is to become one. Are you one? Are you a soul? Are you life? Are you life or no? You are. So become that. Right now you are not a life. You are a bundle of thoughts, emotions, ideas, opinions and prejudices. That is more dominant than the life in you, isn't it? Yes or no? Your thought and emotion is occupying more space than the aliveness that you are. So you're not experiencing yourself as a piece of life, you're experiencing yourself as a bundle of thought and emotion and whatever else. This is a wrong perception. Because you're alive, you may think. You understand? Not because you think that you exist. Because you're alive, you may think if you wish. But right now, the thought process has become so compulsive that people think that is more dominant or is predominant to life. It is not so. It does not… your thought does not exist before life. Because you're alive, you may think. Thoughts, if one's thought is so, focused towards one thing in his life, nothing else seems to matter, such a person is free simply because of his thought, not a confused thought process. That thought process will not protect you. But if one's thought is like this, that it is absolutely connected to one thing and one thing only, a focused thought, such a thought can give you a lot of protection and a lot of purpose and a lot of capability. That's a different thing. But right now you are not in that state, it's better to use a simple tool. And you don't have to worry that somebody is going to affect you. You need to understand this. If you protect yourself, you will also protect yourself from well-being. Understand? So the protection should be such that only what is not necessary for you is filtered. You need a filter, not a wall. Yes? If you build a wall around you, it'll protect you from life itself. Lot of people are doing this. They want to protect themselves from death and danger, but what they will succeed is they will protect themselves from life. Even life won't touch them. They're so safe. Don't become like that. Life should touch you. Even if life smothers you, it's better than remaining untouched by life.
If you stayed until now, if you paused your day to listen, that already sets you apart from most. Like the video, comment where you're watching from, and check the links in the description. You'll definitely find more content that continues this conversation with you. Thanks, big hug, and see you in the next video.